Alright, so someone has asked me to make a Mickey Mouse pinata, and this one's going to be super easy. She showed me an image that she liked, and it was basically a flat paint image. So all you have to do is get a big plate or bowl, or if you don't have anything, this is just a crawfish plate that I'm using to make the big head, and then I'm going to use this bowl for the ears, which is going to overlap just a little bit once I draw this one in first. But if you don't have a big plate or serving dish or anything like that, you can use a laundry basket, or if you're really good at circles, then go for it. So first I'm just going to trace this with a permanent marker, and then I'm going to make the ears with this one. Once we've gotten the image traced, all we have to do is cut it out. We're going to cut out 2 of them, so you get a very big cardboard, and you're going to need 2 cardboards. You're going to make a front and a back, because this is going to be a flat image. If you wanted to do a round image, there's a different way to do that, which would not include drawing. It'd basically be one of those balloons that you buy at the dollar store that you have a long string, you blow them up and they're really big and they're bouncy. And that would make it like a 3D Mickey Mouse would be round. But since we're doing a simple flat one, we're just going to draw it. We're going to have 2 cardboards, a front and a back, and then I'm going to show you how we can make a pinata by separating them and Mod Podging a layer of brown packaging paper and then painting it. Alright, after you get your 2 pieces cut out, you're going to get a piece of scrap cardboard, and you're just going to fold the top and the bottom so that you can have this sit in the center. You can make any shape you want. I'm just going to make like almost like a triangle or upside down V. You can make a circle, which I usually use circles or squares. And then I'm just going to glue it to the top and the bottom so this is in the center, making a sandwich in the middle. Okay, so I folded these, I stuck this in the middle, and then I put something on top so that it can hopefully glue and stay still. And this is what it would look like. The top part, the middle part, and the bottom. Alright, so once you've grabbed all your strips and you've Mod Podged them or paper maché'd them or glued them or however you want to put them on here, you just cover up all the sides. You might have some gaps, so you're going to overlay and do some more strips. So far this is what it looks like. Once I just cover up these last few areas, I'm going to do like a top layer, like one big piece for the top, so that kind of seals in the parts that we glued right here. The way I did it is I used Mod Podge diluted with water just a little bit, and I just kind of like grabbed the strip. I had a paintbrush. I wiped it down the whole brown piece of paper, just one side, and then I put it on here, and then I just kind of brushed it on to make sure it stayed to the top. And then I would turn it over and do the same thing on the bottom. And luckily it did not stick to any surface, so I was able to keep turning it over and doing it. So like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and just overlap those last little areas that need it, and then put one whole part on top of this. Once I get this whole thing dried up and covered, then you can go ahead and decorate your piñata. I was going to just paint it like the colors that we needed and just make this whole thing painted, which is a super easy, cheap way. But the other 2 ways is with tissue paper, you know, the one where you fold tissue paper and then you kind of have it cut up in this, like, what's the word? There's the F. Like fringe, I guess, yeah. So you could either put layers of fringed tissue paper where it's just, you just cut up tissue paper and just kind of glue it into a whole bunch of layers, or the way I like to do it, which is using less tissue paper and fast and easy, where you just grab the tissue paper, flatten it, like let's pretend this is the tissue paper and it's completely flat, just make it completely straight and then glue it on there. So that's what I'm going to do when I'm completely done, letting this whole thing be completely wrapped. I'm just going to get the tissue paper I need, make it flat and glued on there, and then you'll see how it turns out. So far it's looking really good. I left this space right here for the candy to drop into. I'm going to do the sides right here though, and I'm going to make a little flap right here so that you can just open the flap, drop the candy in, and close the flap. But so far it looks really good. This is what it looks like. And it's pretty big. And that's what it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish up with my brown paper, and then I will show you what it looks like when it's completely done with tissue paper. This is how it turned out. I used a black flat tissue paper here, and then on these two I used streamers. I don't know if you can see, I have a white streamer that I folded in half, and then the red streamers I just layered them on top of each other. And then I had yellow tissue paper that I Mod Podged onto a white copying paper just to kind of make it a little bit harder, because the tissue paper would be really thin and you'd have the red bleed through. So I did have to Mod Podge that onto a piece of paper, and then I glued that on there. So on the top part, I decided not to do a little flap, which you could do a little flap and have it open and close, but I wanted to have room for it to hang, which all it needs now is to have a hole punched through here and then a string go through to hang up. So this is what it looks like. In the back I didn't put any buttons, it's just kind of the same. Let's see. So this whole thing took me about 4 hours, which I divided into 2 days, because the first day I just did the shape and the brown paper on the outsides so that the candy won't fall out. And then the second day I just did the tissue paper and the streamers. All of this I had lying around the house, so it was absolutely free for me to make. But if you didn't have any of these materials, all you would have to do is get a cardboard box, which you could get anywhere. Usually most retail stores are kind enough to give you a large box. If not, if you have someone who works at a place could get you one, that'd be great. I got mine at work. The tissue paper and the streamers you can get at Dollar Tree for $1. So basically, some of them come into different, like the black would come as $1, and then if you get the colored, the primary color ones, it would have already the red, the yellow, and the white. Sometimes it doesn't come with white though. So that would be $2. It would only cost $2 to make. You could use, I use Mod Podge, but if you don't have Mod Podge, you can use, I used a glue stick a long time ago before. I've used a glue stick. If you don't have that either, you can always use the paper mache formula, which is just salt, water, and flour, and that would work just as well. So basically this whole thing only cost about $2 to make, and about 4 hours, so you could get this done in one day. The top part to me does not look that great because I just used a flat tissue paper. I would have probably used black streamers to finish off the top, but I just didn't have any. So this is just what it looks like for now. I mean, you could always add something better, like poster board would be fine too if you just grab a black poster board and glued it onto there. But you could use anything really. You could paint it, you could use the fringe, the tissue fringe, where you just cut up little lines into tissue paper and layer it on there. Lots of ideas, but this is what it turned out to look like, and I'm pretty happy with it. I don't really like the black part, but you know, it was quick and easy, so this is what it looks like. Alright, thanks.